Okay, what up? We are live. It is the NFL Fantasy Today show. Jon Mosales here, your host. I got Brian Shade in here, Shade_fantasy. Quickly, I guess if you're watching on YouTube, we are live. Like and subscribe. Switch over there. You can drop us a comment. Comment, like, subscribe, the whole deal. So that's my spiel. Brian, what's shaking?
I mean, not too much. I got a big dynasty draft coming up soon. Just kind of working through that. It's a 32 team IDP league, so pretty much anyone but offensive linemen can be drafted. So, I mean, I am deep into rookie rankings and trying to even look at some defensive rankings. I mean, majority of it's just depth chart hunting, seeing who might have a good opportunity. But I traded away kind of my first round picks, and this is my first year in the league, so I'm just letting everyone else kind of tell me how this league's going to go, and then next season I'll be more involved. But the previous owner paid for like 2 or 3 extra seasons, so I have like 2 seasons to just kind of tank and figure out what's going on here.
That's the dream. And then until you start like 4-1, and it's like, all right, I'm going all in.
Yeah, I mean, my team's not good. They're a bunch of old players. I already traded Dak away for some future first, and I don't know. I got some young guys back. The team's never gonna win, so I'd rather not just be stuck in mediocrity. I feel like in all the big dynasty leagues I'm in, mediocrity, like you're never gonna get out of it unless you just make the decision to either tank or just go all in. But
or you get lucky, right? I mean,
yeah.
I just assume anyone who, like let's say quickly last year, what would the rookie draft have been, right? We had the QB heavies and wide receiver heavies, but like what was even Brian Thomas Jr. a first round pick?
I mean, I assume he would be in a 32 team, but
No,
probably
32.
not like
Sorry, I was thinking like a 12 team. Yeah.
Yeah, and like even quarterbacks, as long as it's, I mean, 32 team, every quarterback's valuable just because it's 32. But unless you're in like a super flex, I wouldn't. My guess is people like Knicks and them weren't first rounders. Jaden probably, Caleb, everyone loved him, but maybe he bounces back this year. We'll see. Even Drake May, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, just going back into a 1 QB 12 team league, I don't know if he would be a first round pick, but like those wide receivers last year were crazy, which is kind of funny because I feel like this year the wide receivers are pretty subpar.
And even if they're good, they all like, what is it, Abuka? He went to Tampa?
Yeah. Tet went to Carolina.
Burden, Chicago, and then Green Bay. Bolden, right? Golden.
Yeah.
But I'm saying these teams with 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of one thing I'm like watching kind of boards now, like draft boards. I just feel like because of last year, people are like, "Oh, I want a rookie wide receiver," and I feel like I don't know. I'm looking at rookie running backs this year the way I looked at rookie wide receivers last year. Of just let me just get as many as possible in the middle rounds and just hope and pray that one of them works out.
Yeah, but it wasn't just last year. It's been a trend, right? I feel you maybe started with Justin Jefferson and then kind of Garrett Wilson, but it was like get your rookie wide receiver, eat him for 6 weeks, and then reap the rewards. Now it seems it's accelerated. Get your rookie wide receiver, start him week 1, and you're going to beat his ADP almost no matter what. But now we've probably over-adjusted finally.
But yeah, like I mean, I don't think Marvin definitely wasn't a value, and even Malik Neighbors, like you maybe got him at value with where you drafted him.
No,
Thomas Jr. was probably the one that you actually did well on. So
sure, yeah, and Odunze not that great, but
yeah,
I mean McConkey crushed it, right? I mean,
yeah, it's more the overhyped people are always going to be overhyped. Like I think Travis Hunter will probably be overhyped. I mean, unless you're in an IDP league where you can play him at both positions at once, maybe. But like,
that's cool. Yeah,
he scares me a bit from just like looking at best ball rankings. I almost never, I don't know, the 3 that I've done, I almost never go after him. I just don't think he's worth it there. I'm glad to be wrong about him. I think it's what he's doing is cool. I just don't know if it is fantasy relevant at the moment or will be his first year.
Well, it's got a lot of barriers, right? QB's not great. O-line sucks. Brian Thomas Jr. is a target monster. So he's a wide receiver too in an offense with a bad QB, or mediocre. I don't know what we want to call Trevor Lawrence, but yeah, it's a lot of barriers to success. And then, might even be playing defense. So football, I mean, when did you usually jump in football? I usually get in basketball and then maybe June, July get in. But now with best ball, it's really 365. I mean, I've done like 3 best ball drafts with Anthony. And it's a really fun way to keep fantasy going, middle of February on a Monday.
Yeah, I feel like at this point in the year, I'm just kind of paying attention, like looking at the draft, seeing who kind of ended up. I mean, I do a bunch around the draft to see like, oh, who do I like? Who do I want? Like for my team, the Eagles, or who do I think would be like the good landing spots for a running back? Like Cowboys would have been a good landing spot for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they only got like Jaden Blue in the 4th or 5th round. I think he's going to be a little overhyped based on like he was only a 4th or 5th round running back. Like he probably shouldn't have been. I don't think he should be that highly drafted, but my guess is it might push him up just because everyone wanted the Cowboys to get a rookie running back.
Sure. But and then landing spots are tricky, right? Is Judkins is on right Cleveland, right? That's a nice spot, even though the O line kind of fell apart. And then Omarion Hampton on the Chargers, even though he's probably behind Najee, run heavy offense. Like, what's the best landing spot, or what's the best situation? What would you want for your rookie running back?
Like the just teams now, or just in general?
General, like kind of system. You want obviously like good O line. Do you want a bad defense? Do you want a run first approach? Maybe no wide receivers, no competition.
I want volume and some type of pass catching role. Like Browns are good. Like, yeah, their O line's meh. Like everything else is kind of meh. But like Nick Chubb just left. Jerome Ford isn't that scary of competition. So that's more of what I'm looking for. Yeah, they drafted 2 running backs, but like Judkins, I feel like he's in the mold. I'm not saying he's as good as Josh Jacobs, but like he has that game where he can kind of do everything. He's not wonderful. Like he's not the best at one thing, but if he's given volume, he'll produce in pretty much anything. So I think that's more what I'm looking for is just, are you on a team that you will get touches in both? I mean, a good team obviously helps with touchdowns, and then will you get pass catching volume? Like I'm trying to think the Steelers guy, like
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, like he doesn't attract me as much as others, maybe just because he is like they have Jaylen Warren, who's a pass catcher there, and he's not going to give up that role. So do I want a Najee Harris potential role? And that's even just like potential. Like we haven't seen if this guy's any good yet. Like I don't really want to pay up for that.
Yeah, but that's a good example of system, right? I think they had a 49-51 run pass, right? They ran the ball, I think top 5 amount. And they threw to the running backs, I think 25% of the time. I just did the Steelers preview, so I got all the Steelers stats.
Well, there you go.
That's a nice spot for a running back to come into. And right, we saw last year, you can have these young guys in the established running backs. You got Rachaad White, Bucky took over. You had Chase Brown with I'm forgetting his name, the old Bills running back.
Oh, it's not Ray Davis. He's still there.
No, on Cincy. That was Zach Moss.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You have this running back who's not really an RB1, this young, hungry stud, and then if they overtake him, then it's about, value dominant.
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, it's just all like, how many touches are they going to get, and who's ahead of them? Like, again, with Dallas, you had Javonte, and who was the other guy? Oh, Miles Sanders, where it's like no one's really scared of them. Okay, Deuce Vaughn maybe too, the short running back whose dad's the coach. Like they're not screaming, "Oh no!" But like, so if a good running back went to that team, great, it would have been awesome. I mean, like obviously great landing spots, Genty, where it's like he went to a team where they don't have a running back and they're looking to feed one just based off what we've seen previously. So like. Chargers, I mean, they love to run it. That's a team that, I mean, they're going to give Omarion Hampton the ball, but obviously they signed Harris and they have a few other guys. So it's just I think he can easily establish himself as the one, but they don't need to in the beginning of the season either.
Yeah, the problem with Najee, he's never missed a game. So like a lot of the times the running back will make that leap because if the guy will get injured. That was Zach Moss and Chase Brown last year. But Najee, I think 4 years, never missed a game. What about the Pats, right? We got Travian Henderson, right? That's almost the ideal situation, right? Ramondre not that great, fumble. They tried to bench him late in the season, but the O line much improved, and they got a running QB. So is that the perfect formula, really?
I mean, maybe I just don't know what to think of that team because it's a whole new coaching staff. Like, for all we know, Vrabel might love Stevenson. I don't think it's the most likely, but like
True.
those new, I don't know, those new teams I think scare me. And then what Henderson's more of like the ideal Jahmyr Gibbs type role where it's like he needs to do a lot with a few touches, or he needs to average like 9 yards a touch within like running and catching just to be valuable.
So
But
Devon
like,
A-Chain is probably the
yeah.
perfect comp, right? You don't want him getting 25 touches.
Well, even A-Chain last season, like, I don't know, he's somebody who I'm like pretty high on going into the season just because first season he showed he can be explosive. Second season he showed he can he can handle a pretty good workload. Yeah, his efficiency numbers went down, but when you catch 8 balls a game and still get double-digit rushes, like you're going to put up stats kind of no matter what. So maybe if we put both together, he could go off, but just the ability that he's kind of shown he can do both, I love. But like, I don't think he's gonna take that third down kind of scat back role. But is that Pat's offense good enough that it'll be a valuable role?
Okay, I mean, or he just takes over completely, though, right? It's
Yeah, maybe.
like the running QB thing. I sometimes rehash this point, but you'd think it'd be a negative, right? Because they're taking rush yards or taking touchdowns. But you look at the best running backs in the league last year, they all had running quarterbacks, right? Derrick Henry,
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, James Cook, right? The only really exception is Detroit with their 2 running backs, and Goff doesn't run.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's in that, like, if the quarterback's a threat to run, you at least have to respect it, and you can't put everyone against them. But yeah, the only person it probably hurts a little bit Saquon just because of the tush push touchdowns, but
Yeah,
which
but
aren't going
he was
away.
fine.
Yeah, he still did perfectly fine.
Okay, so you got third pick, rookie draft. So first is Cam Ward's probably, or Gianti's going, and then Cam Ward. So it's third, just wide open. It's like there's like 7 guys.
I mean, I'd probably go Hampton there,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't know. One guy that like I'm targeting, he's probably gonna get picked way ahead of me, and I don't have a first round pick, so I'm at like pick 41 total. It's like my first pick in this dynasty draft. I'd love to get Jalen Milroe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I haven't trusted Darnold. I've been kind of on the train for that for a while.
Since before last season, when I said he'd run for 25 yards a game.
Yeah, this Seahawks team like doesn't really excite me. And like that NFC West in general, like it's pretty good. Like you have 49ers and then you have Cardinals, and I'm forgetting the other team. Oh, the Rams. Like Cardinals are kind of coming up. Yeah, I don't trust them too much, but I think they are getting a little bit better. And like Seahawks could easily be last place in that division.
Sure, they'd probably be my pick for sure. I mean,
yeah, and if they like, to me, it's like, what do last place teams do to kind of save face when it comes to like coaching and GM is, oh, we have a rookie quarterback, let's put him in the last 5 weeks. Like, if you're not going to make it, why develop Darnold more if you have this super talented rushing quarterback that who knows what he'll do, but we've seen Tim Tebow provide fantasy value at quarterback. Like, you don't have to be that great at passing if you have that amazing rushing. So he's somebody I'm super interested in, and as just like whether it's a end round best ball throw just for like the end of your playoffs, but he's someone I'm definitely interested in. I'm trying to think who else in the dynasty rankings. I mean, Travis Hunter's up there at pick 3. Like, that's who everyone's kind of going after. I don't trust it.
True, especially with the IDP, but
yeah, everyone. I mean, I'm hearing a bunch about RJ Harvey. I just don't know if I'd pick him at 3. But
and Broncos, yeah, he was. I had Nathan and Patrick on. They were really loving him. Peyton loves him. Apparently, he's just like that early film guy. Everyone loves. Bucky Irving vibes from last year.
I see it from like he could have a bunch of volume and like who's getting volume on that team, I don't know, but I want to hear maybe a little bit more in kind of like training camp and all that to do it. But I mean, right now, I feel like Tet is probably the safest pick just because, I mean, Bryce Young was a better, but Tet was probably your most consistently wide receiver one, not including Travis Hunter. I'm afraid of Travis Hunter just from what if he becomes a defender? Like, I don't know. So I'm in a dynasty league. I'm not as willing to kind of bet on that. But others can take the risk. I'm just not about it.
But so back to the Harvey. So PFF, where do you think they have Denver's O-line ranked?
Probably. I mean, I can't remember. They did pretty well at the end of the season, if I remember, but
I only need one finger. Them ranked first. So it's like, you're talking about they got a great O-line. They're going to want to run the ball. You got a running QB and no competition. I mean, it's just like that up there. That is the dream scenario, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think Sean Payton also knows how to scheme up. Like, I trust him. There are coaches that I trust, like Peyton, McVay. Like, if I have a running back on that team, I want to start him. Yeah, Shanahan. Yeah, the issue with Shanahan is you don't know who he's playing sometimes unless he has a stud. Like, who knew Jordan Mason was a guy last year? Like, as the back, it's just hard to tell with him. So, I mean, even the Dolphins guy, I can't think of his name. Like
Jalen Wright? Oh, McDaniel.
Yeah, like McDaniel, I want a running back on his offense, but
yeah,
all of these, I mean, after 2, it is kind of scary. And even I don't like Cam Ward in general, but I don't think I don't think he was that great of a QB to be like 1 overall. He was definitely the best of the group, but I don't see that team being very good next year.
Probably not, but we've just seen, some teams are just a QB away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it like cliche to say like the Commanders is the blueprint? I mean, they were terrible for so long. Even with Daniels, nobody thought they'd be anything even that special. And then he floor raised and destroyed the ceiling. I think I was just looking at stats. I think do you know who had the second most receiving touchdowns in the league?
Was it McLaurin?
Yeah, you get the game now.
Oh yeah, McLaurin's. But like, who's the McLaurin on Tennessee?
Well,
I guess
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. Their O-line I know is terrible, or at least from what
they've got Callahan, the O-line whisperer, and I think they've used 2-3 first-round picks in the last couple of years to invest in the O-line, right? So like,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't like Tennessee, but I get these moments stuck in my head, and it was like 2 years ago we were doing the pod and we were talking about Tampa, and I was like, Tampa sucks, and you're like, maybe they don't, and I was like, you know what, maybe they don't, and I ended up getting all their guys fantasy for cheap, and that offense blew up, right? So it's like my favorite thing: look for the incompetent offense on paper, and then maybe best case scenario it, and then see what fits. I mean. It's not improbable that Tennessee is a good offense next year, but I don't necessarily like the odds.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Chicago? Everyone thinks they're the next great offense again. They're like, oh, post hype because everyone thought it was going to be good last year with Caleb, and now they get Ben Johnson. Like,
I love them. Sometimes the hype is right. I mean, invest in the O-line, second year Caleb, second year Dunze. I mean, right? Drafted a tight end. Drafted another wide receiver. They got tons of weapons. I mean, I don't even see the possible negatives.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll draft probably Caleb at his draft, like where he's being drafted now. I don't know if I'll draft any of the receivers or tight ends just because they have so many. Like, I don't think Caleb's going to put a top 5 like passing performance on this year. I'd be happy to be proved wrong, but like if he doesn't do a top 5 passing performance, then like you have DJ Moore, Rome, you have Loveland, you have Komet, you have I think they added another
Luther
wide
Burden.
Yeah, and then like, okay, what if they bring back Keenan? Probably not, but like they have so many weapons that like I don't know if in general, like how's it going to get spread out? Probably DJ Moore, but like even him, he got pushed up really far last season just because Caleb Williams, great QB, finally passing him the ball, and like Justin Fields was better for him.
Yeah, and also we've seen receiver roulette Green Bay last year, right? Everyone's like, "Who's the guy? Who's the guy? Who's the guy?" None of them ended up being the guy.
Yeah, I mean probably Romeo Dobbs was the best one.
Yeah, I think I was doing a pod. Where do you think they finished in wide receiver fantasy points? This one I have to double check.
I mean, I'm assuming middle of the pack, maybe a little bit above, but like they had so many, so it was just spread.
Yeah, 11th, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they had a wide receiver. I mean, a wide receiver in the top 30, right? So it's like if you took any of them, you
had Wicks that went off. You
right,
had
2 games.
Yeah,
Right?
Jaden Reed did some. Like Christian Watson had his game before he was hurt. Like they had a bunch of players, but like that's not really helpful for fantasy unless you're just all best ball.
Yeah,
So
but
like sure, I'll take a piece in best ball.
Makes sense and invest in a QB, right? Don't guess pick between 4 where you only got to pick one. So yeah, but let's just stay on these incompetent teams for a bit. So I had this guy Big Lofon who's a best ball savant, and he was talking up. Let's play the guessing game again. What team do you think he's investing on because it's the least attractive team on paper?
I mean, the least attractive to me is probably Tennessee or Carolina.
Okay, the Saints.
Yeah.
Right? Don't have a QB, older running back. Olave's had issues. But he's, because you're getting anyone on the Saints for free, right? But is it Spencer Rattler or does Tyler Stroh or Shuck, I think is how you, right?
Yeah, Tyler Shuck. Yeah, I mean, I have Tyler in one of my best ball teams where I had 2 best ball leagues where I went high on quarterback. I did Jalen and I did Jaden for 2 separate teams. And then I just kind of took some shots at like Tyler Shuck at who's going to be the Browns QB, like taking some shots there just to kind of fill out the rest of my QBs. And I mean, I assume it's going to be, I assume Shuck's going to get time this year. Like, I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to blow anyone away and be the full-time starter.
I'm a big Rattler guy.
Were you a big fan of Elite 11 when he was crazy good?
I don't know what's Elite 11.
It's like he was like supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes, basically.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
In high school, and like he went crazy at like this Elite 11 camp, which is like it's like a camp that they bring a bunch of like top QB prospects from high school, and they all kind of perform together. It was televised, or they at least used to televise it, and it became a thing.
Yeah, I know he was kind of a bad boy, that's the kind of guy I like. Really ego early, then gets humbled and then has to come back up. It's so I don't know. I'm a big Rattler guy, but I don't really see the Saints. People are loving Rashid Shaheed. I know Anthony's big on him for best ball, but
I mean he was the deep ball guy there. Like he went crazy, and then like Valdez Scantling MVS kind of took his spot at the end of the season, had a few good games, but I mean that's not, you don't have Derek Carr anymore. You have either Rattler or Shuck. Like Shuck was actually a pretty good athlete from what I remember, just in his testing. That like he intrigues me a bit from the rushing standpoint of like, yeah, everyone's like, oh, he got hurt, he's so old, but like he got like freak out. He broke a collarbone, like he broke a shoulder blade. Like he had kind of freak stuff. It's not like he tore a knee consistently or like had a bunch of soft tissue. Like I don't worry as much about broken bones than I do soft tissue injuries when it comes to like injuries for draft people.
Sure. Let's keep talking inept teams. What's another team that was people think is going to be terrible? Carolina, I guess, but
I mean, Cardinals are one team that I'm like curious where people are at. It seems like people are done with Kyler. Like I'm willing to get him as like a end of round flyer just because he's still kind of shown he has some upside. Cardinals
I gotta let my dog in.
Yeah. Cardinals in general, I think Marvin Harrison, I kind of like the idea of a post type sleeper, but like you have Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison there. James Conner has still kind of produced. He's a good. I've gotten him in a few best ball leagues where I just needed like a safe running back to pair with some rookie running backs. James Conner was kind of a guy I like to get.
Yeah.
He was
The problem with the
good.
Cardinals, it's like I just felt every time they build your trust, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna back them like at Green Bay, and then Kyler has like, it's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He's got like 130 passing yards. It's just he just
Yeah.
doesn't show up on the road. He's kind of a coward. Like Trey McBride didn't get a receiving touchdown until what, week 17, week 18. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I still think
fantasies, you know.
at their prices, Trey McBride's probably the only one who like people are like correctly hype on. That's kind of the only guy I might not see myself getting. Depends how the name recognition of Marvin Harrison boosts him up this year, but I'd be interested in him as like a middle round, like fourth, fifth. But I don't know exactly where he's going, but it's like a post type sleep.
Probably earlier than that.
He's like a post type sleeper. I'm not against.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do a whole thing on these second-year wide receivers that didn't pop. Right? There's so many. It's just crazy. Well, not that didn't pop that I like Adunze. I love. Jalen McMillan, I would have been all in on, but then they went and drafted Abuka or Mecca or whatever how to pronounce his name.
Yeah,
So
I don't like that. Other than like Mike Evans, even Mike Evans. Again, they have so many mouths to feed. Like I like McMillan. I think he was solid, and then obviously they added Abuka, who I think is even better. Like Abuka's like a JSN to me, but
yeah, but and then Keon Coleman on the Bills, who desperately need a wide receiver one. I think he was like second in the league in yards per catch, behind Jameson Williams. So it's just like there's all these second-year wide receivers who, and that's usually when they make the leap, right? Historically, down progression or down rookie season, and then boom. So. The post type sleeper. Marvin Harrison Jr. probably the number one. But so if you get Harrison, do you have to get Kyler? Because McBride's going to be a monster.
no, I wouldn't say you have to. I mean, the league I got him in, I got him. Like I don't think I need him. I did an Eagles stack, of course, for one best ball team, and then I think I had Marvin Harrison with A-Chain and Jaden Daniels. Like no real stacks there, but I was pretty happy with the way that team turned out. I'll say
for best
one.
Ball?
Yeah, best ball. The one best ball player I'm surprised isn't getting drafted. Like I pick him up last round, or I've seen him available last round as Ty Johnson, the Bills guy.
Okay.
Because James Cook, like even with James Cook healthy in the playoffs, Ty Johnson kind of had that third down back role, or at least the 2-minute drill role, and he put up some pretty good numbers. Like he was for a last round pick. I think you will get him as a startable running back in 2 to 3 weeks, maybe, just because, everyone's like, oh, the Bills don't have a wide receiver. They don't have a great tight end, but like the Bills were still top 5 passing team. Like despite not having not having studs at wide receiver, Khalil Shakir was probably their best guy.
Top 5 in what top 5 passing team in what metric?
I'm thinking yards. I mean, I could be wrong, but they were still like a top passing team.
Okay, because I mean they're right. They 31 passes a game, which is 29th. Right. I mean, but 20 right. Wide receivers 21, 21st fantasy points per game. Tight ends 21st. Like they really weren't, because they did the Chiefs model where they went run heavy and then took the pressure off Allen. Like look at Allen's passing stats. It's actually remarkable how depressed they are. Because they just run the ball, and they'd have blowouts. So Allen didn't play a lot of fourth quarters. They still have the capability to do it, but I just felt like they did the Chiefs model, right? Where it's like, don't go deep, don't air it out. I think Allen led the league, in not having interceptions after leading the league with interceptions 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like if you don't air it out, you don't go long. You get your dump offs to running backs, and Ty Johnson was that guy a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I think he's a pretty safe running back in a best ball league to just grab at the end, because everyone, like the other running backs I see available, I don't see any of them with the best chance of playing time. I think he was by far the one who I think will get the most playing time. Maybe things change. Maybe Ray Davis steps up. Like, what happens if James Cook continues to be a pain with the contract and they just want off of him, or he plays into a contract holdout? I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, then you got Ray Davis and Ty Johnson are going super high.
Yeah, or he does the Brandon Ayuk thing, doesn't go to anything in preseason, then gets hurt early in the season because he's not in proper shape, and then and then you're Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. I mean, but Davis is probably going as a running back 30, where Ty Johnson's going as like the running back like 78.
Yeah, Ty Johnson's not being drafted in some leagues. Ray Davis is being drafted.
I mentioned him in our Slack, right? I was like, "What about Ty Johnson?" And he's like, "I didn't even realize he was a thing."
Yeah, I mean because I remember I did a few like playoff fantasy lineups, and Ty Johnson like hit so many times as just like your low dollar, like streaming guy. Just like if you stacked your team with your high dollar, like daily fantasy people, Ty Johnson was like the perfect just low dollar flexor running back to fill out your team. And he did
like getting like Justice Hill, like when the Ravens are big and then they're just giving him these little screen checkdowns and he gets like 80 all-purpose yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, like 10 receptions for 40 yards.
Let's see. Any other inept teams? I guess, are they all in the NFC? I mean, I guess AFC Titans we don't need to talk about. Jags, Texans will be good. Steelers, we just don't know who's at QB. Browns. Okay, what about the Browns? Let's talk Cleveland.
I mean, I like their running backs, Judkins, but other than that, I mean, their wide receivers I just don't know who's going to start there.
Well, QB, because it's going to be Judy and the rookie, Cedric Tillman, right?
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so we're going to have Flacco for 1 or 2 weeks, maybe Kenny Pickett, maybe they trade Flacco, then it's Kenny Pickett, and then are they really going to give Shedeur a chance over Dylan Gabriel? I don't know. They got like 4 quarterbacks that I just don't know. I'm avoiding that passing team. I know for a fact with all those quarterbacks, they're probably going to run the ball inefficiently, but they're probably going to have heavy volume.
Do you know what team led the league in passing attempts last year?
I mean, they did have Jameis Winston at one point.
But the Browns, they threw more than any team in the league. And, I think they had the lowest yards per attempt, and it was, inept and useless. But, like, I think Stefanski likes to throw the ball, right? Njoku had 40 targets over his last 3 games of the season, right? And that wasn't all Jameis, right? It was Dorian Finney-Thompson or Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm confusing the Dorian Finney-Robinson? Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
There you go. PPR. Yep. He's an Eagle now.
Oh, nice. Okay. But it's just, right, if you get Flacco, it's like my favorite thing, talking competent to competent, right? Flacco's not great, but he's going to give you 230 yards and a couple touchdowns. And you got 3 viable weapons. They're not going to be a top 10 offense, but if you go, they're the 32nd ranked offense. If you're the 23rd, that's a pretty huge jump.
Yeah, didn't Browns? The Browns added a rookie tight end, Harold Fanning. Is Njoku back?
Pretty sure.
Okay, that was one person I was confused about, but I mean, yeah, they could. I mean, it's like Browns. I really like Judkins. I don't know why. He just kind of screams off the page for me, just with the volume he's going to get and his ability to kind of do a little bit of everything. And then, I mean, I think Tyler Warren, the Colts are probably going to have an inept team, but like Tyler Warren's kind of like he gives me the Brock Bauer vibes where it's like, just get him the ball and let him do things. So yeah, it might be screens, but like even 7 receptions for 40 yards is startable at tight end some weeks. Like,
how is he getting 7 receptions? Anthony Richardson's only gonna have like 11 completions, and he's got Downs, Pittman, Pierce.
Well, it's going to be
and Adonai Mitchell.
It's going to be screens, and then it's going to be throwing the ball super deep. There's going to be no in between, but he can. Warren's kind of like he was a wildcat quarterback for Penn State. He's shown he can kind of do stuff, but just with the ball in his hand. So why not tell Anthony Richardson, hey, just give him the ball? I don't care how quick.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah, even if it's like a motion jet sweep type thing where it's a pass where you flip it forward, but like I think he's going to get the ball. Like, why draft a tight end that high if you're not going to give him the ball?
Sure, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess. Okay. What about? So I did a big tweet about divisions. Do you ever think of it? Because you kind of invented, maybe not invented, but popularized, at least for me, the team stack, right? You said your buddy always gets the Bills, and he's always in the playoffs slash the
Hmm.
finals. I love that idea. I love doing that. But what about expanding it to like divisions? Like, let's go division by division, and evaluate if you think it's a good division for fantasy. Because you got 6 division games, right? It's like the AFC East. We got the Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets. Probably one good defense, 4 probably decent, fantasy quarterbacks. If you had to go have your fantasy team just from the AFC East, would you be happy about it?
I mean, I would need to kind of have the top tier. Like that team, I think 2 of those teams are kind of meh. And yeah, their defenses stink, but there's so many question marks around the Pats. I mean, Dolphins, Bills, if I could get a lot of them, sure. Jalen Waddle's a guy I'm pretty high on this year, just with everything going on with Tyreek Hill. I think he could
Okay.
have an opportunity to kind of take more. He's still in his physical prime. So
Yeah, but hasn't the window? You don't think the window closed on him, where like he didn't take over last year when Tyreek was getting 50 yards
well, they
and the
also had
offense
like
was humming.
the offense wasn't really humming without Tua in.
No, only with Tua. But remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when we did that pod and you like bet Tua yards versus the Pats because you had the model like 280 and the line was like 190 or something. I remember I was
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I think like if you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, like I think something happened. I don't know what happened, but like the whole offense just went to like dump downs to Johnny Smith and that A Chain. Like I think A Chain will keep him just because like he's a super talented player, but like you're gonna have to get the ball in your like stud. Like I'd much rather have the ball in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle's hands than I would Johnny Smith. So I just think
okay.
he's competent enough that coaching is competent enough that they'll figure out a way to get them the ball again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dolphins should be better. Okay, what about AFC North, right? Last year, that was my stay away division because I was like
They're,
Ravens D's elite, Browns D's elite, Steelers D's elite, and Bengals whatever, right? But Browns D wasn't that great. And there's a lot of high scoring games in division too, right? Like every Ravens Bengals game. But
I mean, I'm
obviously, you
staying away
want.
from Steelers, but I mean, again, if I could have like a Ravens Bengals team, sure. Like those guys are going off. I think Ravens defense got better by the end of the season.
Got better. It was top 2.
Yeah, like Bengals defense was terrible. So like that's a team that I might just target in general because their defense was so bad.
What
But
about, but then you don't get to play against the defense. That's the only thing for me, right? Like you want to play against the Bengals defense.
yeah, but it's like 2 weeks out of the year. I still
Yeah.
think I'd rather just target. I mean, again, I wouldn't be mad about a Ravens heavy like Lamar and Henry with Chase and T, but like I'm probably not getting that. At least
Yeah, you're
Chase
good.
and Henry probably aren't going. I mean, it depends how far Derek falls. I don't know if Derek's falling. I think he's kind of at end of the first.
Yeah, he's not falling. I mean,
He's not like a sexy pick, but
6.1 yards per carry.
yeah. Some people don't like him just due to his like he doesn't do anything in the passing game, but like he gets you
No,
1,700
it's because he's
yards.
31. It's nothing
Yeah.
to do with the passing game. It's only age related.
Well, passing helps. Like, yeah, he's 31 who doesn't do anything in the passing. Like that's
Yeah,
scary, but he's still going to get you probably 16 to 1,700 yards.
and he still had, I think, a handful of touchdowns and probably 200 receiving yards, right?
Yeah, I mean
Even
he was a stud. Yeah,
yeah.
if it weren't
What?
for
But
Saquon, I think people would be talking about him way more.
yeah, I worry about the super team thing now, right? The Chiefs started it, right? You got Pat Mahomes, but his yards per attempt or completion keep going down every year. They didn't score 30 points. He doesn't air it out. Now the Bills, same thing. Josh Allen, I felt like he aired it out every other pass 2 years ago, not airing it out. Eagles, Jalen, right, hurts. It's like, oh, we're up 21, we're up 28-10 every third quarter. Well, I passed the ball. Ravens are next. It's like, because their defense is so good. When you got the good defense, you're not in the shootouts. Teams aren't able to play catch up, right? So it's like, what other than Henry? I kind of worry about all the Ravens players because I think they're going to win every game 31-10.
I mean, with the Ravens players, you haven't really had anyone other than like you haven't really had a pass catcher other than Mark Andrews, and now that kind of Andrews and Likely are kind of splitting time. So like, yeah, I don't like their pass catchers. Maybe I'd take a shot on Bateman just because I feel like he's pretty cheap, and Say Flowers hasn't done too much. I mean, I'm avoiding DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's a name that people
Yeah,
might
yeah, of
find
course.
attractive just because it's Lamar. But yeah, the pass catchers on the Ravens, I'm not really touching. Lamar, I still love. Just he's hard not to.
Yeah, he had I think 50 points more than QB2 Josh Allen fantasy points, right?
Yeah. So I mean, those two guys I'd still be into. I think what Keaton Mitchell, he was like a name that people brought up last year because at the end of his rookie season, he had some explosive touches. I think maybe they might be able to get him in that Justice Hill role a little bit or just the pass catching. He was explosive when he had the ball in his hands. He got hurt last season. It was kind of
Yeah,
a wash for
ACL.
me. So he's a kind of late round flyer in your
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What? So okay, let's keep going. So AFC South, right? So we got a bunch of bad defenses. First time ever they've had 4 potential franchise quarterbacks, right?
That's Titans. That's
Texans,
Texans.
Jags, Indy.
I just don't like those teams
Yeah, but the
in
Jags
general.
have a terrible defense. Indy terrible defense. I mean, you've got potentially high scoring games. It's probably all these teams kind of going lower value. I mean, fantasy wise.
Could easily be high turnover games too, in my opinion, with all those QBs.
Sure, sure. No, I don't really love it either. But we're just trying to find that. Okay,
I
AFC
mean,
West. Oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to think just what sticks out. NFC North potentially sticks out. You just have Bears, Vikings.
I don't understand. Don't jump ahead. Let me go through the divisions.
AFC West doesn't attract me because that's Chargers. That's
Do you not have
Broncos.
divisions memorized? I don't understand. Are you like Ryan Tannehill?
No, I'm just like thinking out at the top of my. I mean, I'm in basketball and slight rookie season at the moment. So
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, we got Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. 3 of those, maybe top 7 defenses. All teams are going to want to run the ball. I mean, yeah. If I don't really want the QBs or wide receivers or tight ends, other than Brock Bowers.
yeah, those are just. I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I do kind of like Kelsey just because he's cheaper than he's always been.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I had a best ball team where I just got Laporta and Kelsey and called it quits on tight end, which I kind of loved just because I think those two can, I don't know, like tight ends 8 every week, put up like 4 for 40, and maybe they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, no, it was ugly. All right, NFC East, right? So we got Boys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins. I mean, do you just go on the Eagles and then you get to play, maybe these 3 bad defenses because you don't want to really play the Eagles because I mean they shut down how many wide receiver ones last year? I know it's only 2 games, but
Yeah, I mean, Eagles they lost one corner. I think in general they're not going to have as good of a defense. I still think they'll be pretty good, but I mean, yeah, that's definitely a division I would attack.
okay.
They have quarterbacks that are attractive, and I think the Giants could just be forced to pass a bunch just due to the division they're in. Like I could see them in a bunch of blowouts where, okay, it's 31-10, but they're just going to keep throwing it at the end of the game. Like Malik Neighbors will get like 10 catches. It doesn't have to be efficient, but like I just think they're going to have a bunch of work there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got potentially 3 of the best offenses, especially with George Pickens in Dallas now. What about AJ Brown, right? I don't know where he finished last year. Probably wide receiver 18 or 20. Was it that bad? Let me check.
I
But
thought he started pretty well and then kind of fell off when they just realized all they have to do is run the ball.
18. Oh, that's the problem, right? Like, where would you take him this year? You're not taking him first round. Are you taking him second round? He's still top 5 talent, but he's not getting top 5 usage. He's not getting top 10 usage.
I mean, if I think I could get a stack of him and Hurts in second, third round, I would do that. But again, it's not something I'm like counting on.
Would you look to schedule? Would maybe a breaker? Like, week 15, you don't want them playing. I mean, I guess that you don't want them playing a bad team. You'd want Eagles in Dallas week 15, right? That's the dream.
I don't think Dallas is going to be that good. I don't think the Pickens ad is that great, but maybe. I mean,
well, for high scoring though, it might be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I think their passing offense is going to be better this season. I don't think they can just lean on Saquon as much as they did previously.
Okay. So it's the NFC North, who you tried to skip ahead to, right? Probably the best division in football. What, 3 teams had 13, 14 wins? Make sure my dog's going to pee on my bed here. Right, Lions defense isn't that great. Packers is okay. Vikings defense is, I think, a mirage. Bears defense kind of comes and goes. I mean, that's the division to stack if you had to pick one?
Yeah, I think that's a solid one. You can get so much depth from that division with like Packers, so many receivers. There's so many teams that I'm wondering where their points are going to come from. Bears, pass catchers. I don't know about after Laporta, and I mean even Laporta wasn't that much of a volume, but after Amon-Ra, is Jameson really going to step up? Jameson Williams, I don't know.
What do you mean step up? He did step up. He was a monster.
What did he rank at the end of the season? He wasn't very consistent. He's a great
wide receiver 19, one behind AJ.
Okay, I mean he was great for best ball.
Yeah, that's true. But
he wasn't the most consistent in my opinion, but you just have so many options in that, and it's so deep in that division that I'm curious about. I mean, I love JJ McCarthy as a late round. They have so many receiving options there that are great, like Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson. Their receiver they added late round, Ty Felton. I'm pretty high on it. I'd love to get him in my second round of this super deep league, but they're just guys that I like on that team. So I would say NFC North is probably the main one that I would go after.
Which wide receiver 2 would you take? You got Addison, Jameson, let's say Odunze, and blanking. Did I name 4? Oh, I did. Addison, Jameson,
Odunze, and then
Packers.
Maybe it's Golden. Who knows who their second?
Okay, let's say Golden. Who do you want?
I mean, best ball, I'd probably go Jameson. Season long, I'd go Addison.
Okay.
The only thing that scares me about Addison is just the QB. Maybe McCarthy sucks. I don't know. I feel pretty good about that offense just because they've always had a QB that's been
kind of sucked.
Relevant.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I would go. I just trust that Vikings offense.
Sure. Great O-line. Like Justin Jefferson just might be QB proof, right? Yeah. And he's like Tyreek 2 years ago. He's just so insane that he's it's like a Steph Curry offense, right? Everyone else is open, and you can still throw to him, and he'll be open even if he's double covered. So it's it doesn't really matter what you do, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, and we're missing 2. I'm trying to think what's the Bucks division? That's
you really are bad at this. NFC South.
I can get it. That's Bucks, Panthers, Falcons.
Yeah. Halo. Saints.
Oh, that's not a Halo.
Well, it's just saying. Okay, whatever. But okay, so right, we got probably 4 bad defenses, maybe 1 good QB.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I just have a feeling about the Panthers. It's either going to be way better than expected, or just fall on your face, first overall pick again. Everyone sucks. I don't necessarily think everyone's going to suck. I think Bryce Young showed something at the end of last season, and he's a good talent in my opinion. He's just small.
But what did he show? Did he show he can be Kyler Murray, a worse version of Kyler Murray?
I think he showed he could be like a Baker, where he just chucks it around, and if he has weapons and a good offense around him, that he can make it work.
A Tampa Baker or a Browns Baker? Tampa Baker was RB3, the RB4 back-to-back years. 40. Baker had 41 touchdown passes last year.
He was surrounded by. Had a great offense called for him, and he was surrounded by good players. I think
Okay, but Godwin out like week 7. Evans missed 5 games. I mean, he carried that offense with Kate Otten and Jalen McMillan over the middle part of the season.
Yeah, I don't think it's all him, in my opinion.
No, it's not. Of course not.
But like it is a lot of coaching, and I think Liam Cohen like got a head coaching job for a reason. They even fired their GM after they missed on him the first round. Like I think he's a good coach, so I think that helps a lot. And again, I think coaching makes a big difference with QBs. I think I'd say like maybe you have 5 QBs in the league that without coaching would still be great. And like
Okay. Let's do
so
that.
I just don't
Mahomes, Allen,
Lamar.
Lamar,
I mean, those are the 3 I'm confident of.
Burrow.
Yeah, Burrow probably. Even
Probably.
him. Like, yeah, I'd say those 4. The other ones like Jalen Hurts, I think he has a great O-line, and I think that he's basically a QB with an offensive lineman mindset. So I feel like that just it works perfectly with him. But I mean, that's like the 4 I'm confident in.
So we love Cohen and what he did for Baker. Doesn't that translate now in Jacksonville? That because Trevor Lawrence should be almost better than Baker in theory with Brian Thomas Jr. and maybe Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see. I mean, I know Brian Thomas Jr. is pretty highly ranked. Travis Hunter's pretty highly ranked. Like Trevor Lawrence is the guy I'm getting in best ball to like add in with a good quarter. Like say I drafted a Hurts or a Daniels, which I did. Like I was definitely targeting someone like Lawrence later on just to give me somebody in the weeks that they're off or that they have an off week. And I think he'll have. This is kind of like make or break for him, and I just don't see him failing. I don't know why. I don't know why I still have faith in him, but like I do think he's a solid QB. He's had crap around him for so long.
And maybe he just needs to change the scenery, right? We've just seen
Yeah.
with these guys like Baker, right? Cleveland was okay. I think they got to the AFC final against KC, and then he bounces around a bit, finds a home. Sam Darnold bounced around. Only one good year with the Vikings, but it was great. It was a great, 16 and a half games or something. But some of these guys, they need a little time or just, perfect cocktail mix to work. Okay, so last division, and then we're going to wrap up. We got 50 minutes here. NFC West. Do we know who's in that?
That's 49ers, Arizona, Rams, and I thought we already talked about that. I talked about them.
And Seahawks.
Yeah, and the Seahawks. Yeah, I mentioned how they were. I think the Seahawks could be the worst division or worst in the division.
I remember from when with Jason in week 15 because he'd always talk about the Niners and he's like 4th place schedule. And that's just been stuck in my head. But the Niners, I feel like they're just going to be playing, the Falcons and the Bucks every game. And I fall in love with all of them. Like who the guy who got shot, Ricky Pearsall. I love Juwan Jennings. I mean, Kittle's been like a top 3 tight end for 4 years in a row. CMC, obviously, we're scarred and we're never going to take him again. But maybe, Garendo and Brock Purdy. Like, you're in the 10th round of a 1 QB draft, and you got all these late round guys. Who are you taking? Like Trevor Lawrence, Darnold, Purdy.
I mean, probably Purdy out of them. Just I got Purdy, like the one best ball team that I didn't go high on a QB with. I got Purdy, somebody else, and Anthony Richardson. Purdy, Herbert, and Anthony Richardson. I'm like, those are 3 that I'm happy with in a best ball if I go late on QB.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're going to get 20 points a week from one of them.
Yeah.
Plus some nice spike weeks.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Purdy's probably the one I like the most out of them. CMC scares me. I'll still probably go in. Like, his projections are still going to be absurd because, like, are they really going to give Garendo that much work if CMC's healthy?
Yeah, but is he ever going to be healthy again?
I mean, he's had an off season. We'll see. But Kittle's rated super high. He scares me. Every year he goes off, he then gets hurt or does something. Like he doesn't go off the next year. So
no, 2 years in a row. No, that's his track record. Because me and tight ends. I was like, I'm just getting Kittle because he had, I think, 1,400 yards the 1 year without a QB. And I drafted him for 3 straight years, got off the Kittle bandwagon. And then for the last 2 years, he's been elite again.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I love that they got rid of Debo.
Yeah.
Pearsall's a good late round guy. Ayuk got paid, but I still think it feels like they're still trying to get off of him. Jawan Jennings, I think, is super reliable. I I would take him over like him and Pearsall. I feel like at least one of the best balls I was in, they were like pretty similarly rated. It's like I'm getting Jawan every time. But
Yeah, but Pearsall's pretty explosive, but yeah, I mean Jennings he had that 3 touchdown, 180 yards. Like we know he can do it, and he's got such a big body. He's got a great first read share too. Brock loves him.
yeah, and then even like Kenneth Walker, I feel like is a bit underrated at the moment. He's still going to get a bunch of work. I just don't trust that team. But if you get a running back with that workload, I'm still going to buy it. Like especially where he's being drafted. It seemed like low end RB2 range, which to me feels like pretty solid spot to get him just with all the volume he's going to get. Charbonnet wasn't like that useful until Walker got hurt. So
Well, Walker got hurt twice though, right? He got hurt early and then he got hurt late.
yeah.
So Charbonnet had a big nothing. Okay, we're gonna wrap up here. So let me go. So make sure to follow us on Blue Sky and Twitter. It's at Ethos Fantasy NFL. You got me on Twitter at Jon Mosales. We got Brian at @shade_fantasy. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Drop us a comment. And we'll be next week. Me and Anthony. There's some best ball tournament he's bugging me about. So we're gonna do another best ball draft. If you want to jump in for that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely check it out. Let me know what day it is.
Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Boom. So, everyone loves drafts. We just do the best ball draft, and I try and ask questions and talk during it, and then I keep missing the picks. It's like 20 seconds. It's crazy, right? I ask long-winded questions, and then, it's been 2 rounds. Cool. Oh, anything, last word, Brian? Anything working on? Anything special? Anything cool?
No, I mean, I'm doing some NBA draft stuff, and then I'm kind of digging deep in my dynasty league. That draft starts on the 1st for football, so that's the IDP league. After that, I'm kind of gonna power through on my season long model. So once I get season long done, then I just have to set up the weekly again. So things are in the works.
Cool. Okay, well that's it for the Those Fantasy Today show. We will see you next week. Thank you. See ya.